All I'm going to paint with the light gray is these two pieces right here. And my plan is just going to put a few drops of just pure isopropyl in the airbrush, which is adjusted for, I'm guessing, about 13, 14 pounds right now. Let's see if it'll spray that. Well, it's not spraying it, so I'm going to try something here. Tony suggested back flushing, so I'm going to put my finger over this, push down on here, and let's try it. Oh my. We're back to where we was. Okay. Increase the pressure. Okay, it's 20 pounds. What could be our problem? I do believe that it's not sealing off when I'm tightening this down. Now, I hate to try it real hard because okay, here's the latest. I've thinned this paint down even more. When I used the pipette, I just drew it from the top so I'm not picking up any chunks from the bottom. I don't know why, but right now the pressure's at about 12, 14 pounds and it's working fine. I don't care why it's working, I just care that it's working. I might have thinned this paint down too much. Either that or I'm putting it on too thick. I do believe I've thinned it down too much. It's almost running. I think it'll be okay once it's dry. don't put this one on so thick. Okay, I'm going to let that dry and see what I've got. In the meantime, I'm going to change my paint and put in the darker gray. Okay, we're at about 13 pounds. think I got it. Okay, I'm not going to complain about the airbrush anymore. It does the job. I'm very happy with it. I'm glad I've got it. This light gray here, I thinned it out a way too much there. It was almost like trying to spray colored isopropyl. You know, it kind of did the job, but not a real good job. Not as good as here. Now the dark gray, on the other hand, it did a nice job. I won't have to go over anything here, as far as I can tell. However, I think that's about all I've got to say about the airbrush. I'm not going to mention problems anymore. I'm just going to go ahead and use it. And oh, and by the way, I'm still having fun. So I'm at the place now where I want to paint the deck. And this part here that has the wood grating, well, I'm going to use that probably at some kind of brown. And then this back part, which I believe at least once was sort of metal plating, it's also deck. I'll probably do the dark gray on that. And right here, and then I got to thinking about, okay, how does the railing go on these, you know? And I'm looking at the detailed drawings here where the railings are quite clear. And I start to page through this thing, and I go page after page after page. This is step 27, and I get all the way to the back, which is step 64. And do you know, it does not talk about the railing at all. Nowhere does it show railing. And I did not realize that until right now. I'm really surprised. I guess the idea is that you're supposed to use common sense, you know, there would be railing where somebody would fall off the deck. Only makes sense, right? Yeah. Okay, this one is called Orange Brown. Let's just do one little drop here. That's a bubble, that's not a drop. There we go. I don't know, does it look like it needs to be thinned out or not? Yeah, it looks kind of thick to me. Okay, this stuff here is called thinner. Just give it one drop of thinner and mix it up and see what happens. This is kind of white. It more or less retains its color. I think this is going to be too orangey. Too orangey. It doesn't have to be very neat here, it just has to give us the color, right? Starting to get a little bit thin there. Okay, quit playing with it. Okay, let's try this one. Remind me never to buy this kind of paint again. It was more expensive for less. Now, I just want to quickly interrupt here. I should not have said that because as far as I know, this Vallejo paint might well be the best modeling paint out there. And I just don't know it because I'm not an experienced modeler. However, I bought it because it was one of the paints that Trumpeter had recommended. And so I bought some of the different colors that they recommended. But I don't like the bottles. Now that sounds kind of funny. I don't like the paint because I don't like the bottles. But how do you mix something like this? I shook it like crazy in my paint shaker, and still, you may have noticed there that up at the tip, it hadn't been properly stirred. Shaken, but not stirred. And we'll thin it out a little bit here. Well, it shouldn't change the color. Now we already know what this will look like because we did the entire main deck with it. This is starting to dry already. Now I don't like either one of these. And this one here, it looks too much like the paint we're using on the teak deck. And remember now, it's for this wooden grating here. Now, here's a thought. Here's Tamiya's version of deck tan. Okay? XF55, and we didn't like that, or at least I didn't like it because I felt it was too light. But I was wondering what would happen if I added a little bit of Hull red to this. What am I going to end up with? Let's try it. Okay, I've mixed these thoroughly. My goodness. All right. Now we'll mix this one up. See what we got here. Now, you might remember, I can't remember how many episodes ago, it wasn't that long ago, I was talking about that sometimes you can get, hardened particles down into the airbrush. And if I was to take and pour this directly into the cup on the airbrush, chances are some of these little pieces, like that one that just fell back into the paint, I'm hoping that'll dissolve now, they'll get clog the airbrush. Although I don't think that's my problem. Now you'll notice I've taken the label off of this. Reason being, it's no longer what it says. I don't know. Kind of pink. What if I was to add a little bit of black to this? I realize that I don't always show it. In fact, I hardly ever show it, but I do mix thoroughly in between each time here. Okay, see what happens now. I'm starting to run out of pipettes. Well, that's not 100% true, I guess. But I better order another gross of them from Amazon. Okay, we'll mix it up and see what we got. Okay, let's see what that looks like after it's dried. Well, this is it. And it sort of falls in between our light gray that we did this with and the dark gray that we just did all the little pieces. And this is that sort of olive gray that the outside of the hull is done with. Now you can sort of see a hint of brown in this, just barely, but it's more gray than anything. I'm going to work on it. We'll get it yet. I think that the smart thing for me to do would be to check and see what did our expert choose when he drew his did his artwork. And it appears to me that for the teak deck here, at least this one, now this one's a little different. But anyway, he chose a shade that pretty much matches, at least I think, maybe a little bit more orangey than what we used on our main deck, a couple or 3 months ago. However, this wood grating, well, it kind of looks a little bit like that Vallejo brown earth, or what, flat earth, or whatever they called it. It's close anyway. I don't know. It's kind of close. I'm not very good at this, apparently. I'm going to try not to get my nose in front of the lens here. I'm going to give it a try. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, be able to go around like this and not have the brown paint end up touching, this part right here. Because it will show. Tony was right. Masking the deck would have been a lot easier than to try and mask this. But because of these ribs here, it would be hard to mask either way. Now, a place like right here, notice I'm up against this little gray wall, or this little part here where it's kind of raised. There's one of those little black things that we just painted. It gets mounted right there. So I don't know if I can go up to this and not touch it or not. I mean, you have to have a pretty steady hand and a good eye. Well, I've got a good eye, but yeah, it's dust on there. I should roll this thing off. I don't know if this is going to work or not. What I do know is that if I can manage to get this masked off somehow, maybe if I can get this at a different angle, I can do it better. Anyway, I'm going to do my best to mask this off, because I know that this grating is not going to show up as well if I paint it with a brush. It's just going to be going on there just way too thick. And if I can spray it, it'll lose very little of the detail. At least that's the plan. So, if I can get this off of here, fix it up later. Thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.